Now I would like to share some other tools that I believe will hugely influence your capacity to develop mindful communication. And those tools are active listening, empathy, and non-judgmental awareness. So let's break this down just a little bit more. Number one, I mentioned active listening. What's active listening? Active listening is a communication technique that involves fully concentrating on what is being said, understanding the message, and responding thoughtfully. It's a way of listening attentively and empathetically, not only to the words being spoken, but also to the underlying emotions, intentions, and context that's being conveyed by the speaker. I call this going behind someone's eyes or going behind someone's heart so that you can switch places, put yourself in their skin, so to speak. It's the process of putting your thoughts and internal dialogue to rest and fully listen, body, mind, and soul, to the other person. Can you take one moment right now and see how increasing your active listening skills could help you with your present relationships? The other tool is empathy. Now, you've heard about empathy before, right? Empathy is the ability to understand and share the emotions of others, fostering connections, compassion, and social harmony. That's a big piece of it. It involves not only recognizing and acknowledging the emotions someone else is experiencing, but also being able to imagine oneself in their situation and experiencing those same emotions. Empathy allows us to connect with others on a deep emotional level, fostering understanding, compassion, and support in interpersonal relationships. And I have to tell you that when I was going through that conversation with this person, I really allowed for empathy to embody me. I got into my empathy suit, so to speak, so that I could really get to feel and understand the emotions that this person was going through. And as soon as I did this, it was kind of like I pulled myself out from my stance of either righteousness or trying to explain myself. I pulled myself right back and I really looked at this person. I opened my heart to this person and I could see, and more importantly, feel how deeply upset they were. And so I just decided, hey, I have these 3 great steps that I always talk about that I have discovered in my practice over the past 20 years almost that are super, super effective in communication. It's to first and foremost acknowledge the other person. So get out of my way and just say, hey, I hear you. I really hear you. I can better understand what you're saying now that I've kind of pulled back my need to be heard and seen. In that moment, it wasn't helping that I needed to be heard and seen. He wasn't hearing me, right? I needed to be more in touch with how to receive them in order to maintain, remember, social harmony. Empathy has to do with social harmony. So I got out of the way. I acknowledged them. Then I engaged by thanking them for coming up to me. I mean, it was that important for that person. It was that important for that person to show up, come up to me and say, hey, this is really bothering me. So I engaged and said, thank you for coming up to me and letting me know how that made you feel. And then thirdly, I supported them by asking a question. How are you and your family doing right now? So acknowledge, engage, and support is kind of part of this empathetic approach. And I find it very useful to use those 3 steps. It reminds me always to get out of the way when I start to get too emotional or that I want to prove a point or that I want to be right about something. And then the final step I wanted to share with you was non-judgmental awareness. Non-judgmental awareness is the practice of observing thoughts, observing emotions, and experiences without attaching value, judgments, or labels to them. So again, you see how all the tools that I'm sharing with you is really a lot about taking away, deleting a little bit of this impetus to have to be so involved and anchoring to be in a state of reactivity. So to be in a state of non-judgmental awareness is, again, to delete ourselves a little bit from the place to limit judgments or to put labels on things, and instead create a safer, more open space for others to express themselves. Non-judgmental awareness involves being present in the moment, again, all about presence in the moment, but this time with an open and accepting attitude, allowing thoughts and feelings to arise without criticism or resistance. To not resist, to just allow a flow to occur. Non-judgmental awareness enables us to cultivate a sense of inner peace, acceptance, and of course, self-compassion. You see how they're all linked there. So as you can see from what I'm sharing with you here, these tools all have an interconnecting link, interconnecting qualities, each of which speak to the power of how mindful communication affects our emotional and physical health. They're all related. Mind-body connection is all about understanding and healing the entire person. And that means your mind, your body, and your spirit.